Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the NECA Aliens Genocide 2-pack. So this set is based on concept figures from, I guess it's a comic storyline that's not canon. I think that's the case. I'm not sure. Somebody commented in the haul video and told me about it, and I totally forgot what they said. You guys know more about the alien stuff than I do. But this is a set that as soon as they showed it, I even commented on their tweet saying how cool it looked, even though I know nothing about it. And so now I'm reviewing it for you guys who definitely know more about it. And I'll tell you right now, if you're gonna spin them on a turntable, make sure they don't bump into things, because then your video looks like it's made by a doofus. So let's go ahead and take the other one off the stand and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so we have the two different figures. This one has a much more basic design, so he's technically a little bit shorter. This guy has the double or the reversed hinged leg, so he can get a little bit taller. But if you'll look at them, they're about the same size. We're going to do a quick height measurement. This one is about 24 the way he is. You could straighten him up again a little bit if you wanted to, which makes him about 9.5. This one comes in at about 9, which makes him about 22.5, right around there. We're going to review them separately because they are different figures just about in every regard other than paint, which is okay because the paint job is really cool. I love this red and black. It's glossy red with all of the recessed areas filled in with black, so it's like a really nice black wash or a really nice red dry brush. And then there is also some highlighting with some kind of like a pinkish color. So that's pretty cool. And we have the silver and black mouths and the translucent domes with the, I guess, skull and whatever that is in there. So really aesthetically pleasing. I think based on my very limited Aliens knowledge, this is the more classic look, the original look. Am I remembering correctly that the more humanoid looking ones are the way they looked originally? You guys could let me know. I'm curious about that just because I don't have time to research the alien history. I know there's a whole bunch of fiction out there. Anyway, it's a cool looking figure paint job wise. So let's talk about articulation. The head is on, I assume it's just a single ball peg. That's what it feels like. It moves around pretty well. I have a feeling this is an earlier mold that has been painted red based on the designing, the engineering on this guy, but I'm not certain. But the head does move fairly well. You can lean it from side to side. It doesn't look up very well. It does look down just a little bit, and then it does rotate just a little bit. It feels very much more limited than some of the other Aliens figures. I do like that we have this little piece right here that is attached in the back. It adds a little bit of lifeness. Lifeness? Wow, lifeness. That's not a thing. Realism? Let's go with realism. That sounds like English. And then we have the hinged jaw, which is a really cool feature. I like that. The teeth are obviously very nice in that silver. And then we have the internal mouth that can come out. If you tap on the head, sometimes that helps to get it out. So that's pretty cool. I like that they included that in all of the figures. This piece back here, I'm not sure what's up with it. It came off in the package. I think it's meant to pop off, but I'm thinking it's supposed to be glued in also, so I don't know about that. But it just goes right back in. For the shoulders, we have basically just a ball hinge, so you can bring the arm all the way down. You can bring it about 45 degrees. It's not going to go out horizontally. You can rotate it, of course, like this, but it is seated at a bit of an angle, so it's going to rotate at a bit of an angle also. But you can still bring the arm straight forward if you really wanted to, so that's okay. And then right here at this seam, we have a bicep swivel, pretty traditional type of swivel, and it's nicely hidden. It's not too bad. I think that's okay. Then we have a true ball hinge for the elbow, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know NECA used that on these guys. And you get a little bit better than 90 degrees on that bend, and it will swivel at both ends of that hinge also. For the wrist, we have a swivel and a hinge. Nothing else on the hands. They did paint the claws, so that's kind of cool. Nice detail on this guy. For the torso, we have, it's a ball peg, but you're not going to get much out of it. It will wiggle a little bit, but mostly it's just going to rotate. For the hips, we have standard hips, kind of like ball hinges that are pretty well hidden. This is a softer material, so you can still bring the legs up pretty far. You just kind of have to tuck them in, and you get really nice range out of those hips. And you can bring them all the way out to the side as well, so that's pretty good. And you have your thigh swivel. So that is not too bad. Double jointed knee, just like any standard domestic action figure, works really nicely. Looks good, no problems there. And then for the ankles, we have a ball peg, which doesn't have the best range going back, but it goes forward pretty far, and it comes out to the side enough. You get a decent ankle rocker. And then lastly, you have a toe hinge, which is pretty nicely executed, so that is okay. We do have a bendable tail. It's not going to swivel or anything where it connects to the spine, but the tail itself is easily bent, and it will hold poses fairly well. So I like that. They did a good job with the bendy tails. So this guy, not too bad. Not my favorite look for a Xenomorph, but the figure itself, a little bit limited in some ways, but definitely not bad and definitely pretty good looking. So I like that one. This 2-pack does come with a small acrylic display stand with a single hinge. I guess that is just for support for the, well, for either one if you want to put them in a more dynamic pose. I will start off this guy by talking about his head, because I don't know what happened to it. Right out of the package, his head is incredibly floppy, like almost like it's not connected. I have to take that apart and see what's going on. I don't understand what might have caused that because it's so incredibly floppy, but there's no loose stuff. There's nothing. So I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that. I imagine that's not the norm for this guy, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And if it is, you can always just get it returned and replaced. So it's definitely not ideal, but I'm hoping it's just a freak accident and I wouldn't worry about it too much. Hopefully that's the case. All right, so we do have the really nice clear dome with the black shading on there. It looks good. The same red and pink and black paint job on this guy. It looks even better on this guy, I think, because they have a little bit more of the pink around the rib cage, and I like the dome a little bit better, so that's cool. We have the same type of hinge for the jaw, slightly better design for the jaw, though, and then, of course, we still have the internal mouth. So that's nice. It's just really a shame that it's so floppy, the whole head. That's a bummer. For the shoulders, we have the ball hinge, which brings the arm a little bit better than 45 degrees. Not completely horizontal, but you can rotate it all the way around in that shoulder socket. No bicep swivel on this guy until you get down to the elbow. You have that double jointed elbow, which works really nicely. You get good range out of that. And it will rotate there. So if you need to rotate it, you can do that. I think it'll rotate at the forearm also. Yes, it will. And then you have for the wrist a swivel and a hinge. No finger articulation on this guy. They did paint the claws again though, so that's nice. For the chest, we have a single ball peg. Oh, you know what? It feels like a double. You can always tell the difference between a single and a double, or at least you usually can, if you can shift the piece like side to side like that. That means there's two pegs moving rather than just one, but you get decent range. It goes pretty far forward. You can go pretty far back, and then side to side is even better, and you get full rotation. So that's a really nice torso design. I like that a bunch. For the hips, we have our standard ball hinges, but these guys right here are definitely going to get in the way. Nothing you can do about that. You can rotate the leg all the way forward, though, so that's good. No problem posing this guy in that regard. It is going to limit it to the side, though, a fair bit. You have your thigh swivel in there, too, so that's pretty good. It's stiff, but it will go. And it's worth noting, the paint job on this guy is definitely more appealing because the lighter colored spots, like you can see on his hamstring here and there and a little bit in here, it's a little more obvious where that lighter pink is, and it looks pretty good. We do have our standard double jointed knee in there, which gives you really good range. 180 degrees basically, so that's fine. You have another joint down here, so that's good. That's a single joint. I think it will rotate. Yep, it rotates also, so that's cool. Then we have, I think this is just no, it's a hinge. Okay, so it's a hinge and a swivel. I thought it was a ball peg at first. So lots of hinges in this guy, and he looks really cool, especially when he's dynamically posed. I like this one. I like it a bunch. It's such a bummer that the head is floppy on this guy. I'm definitely gonna have to fix that. And then as for his tail, it rotates and is totally bendable and very nicely done at that. So this one's a cool one for sure. I definitely recommend this set. I like both of these figures a whole lot. The only real issue is this guy's floppy head. Other things are just issues to be aware of, but not issues to really impact the sale. So I would say go ahead and pick them up if you guys are collecting the Aliens figures. Very cool set. I like it a whole lot. And you can get the big queen that matches these guys, the red one. I reviewed the original one. Didn't review the red one, but they do make it, and it will match these guys. So you might want to pick that up too. Which was a cool figure, by the way, the original one. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, obviously, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.